Feel like I'm getting deja vu. This is like a rock war number 2. A rock war number 2. I like to look at those oil supplies. I'd be ashamed if someone invaded you. If someone invaded you. And I ran so far away. From Iran, from them night and day, but destroy USA. A drone appears above your head. A more bomb comes falling down on you, falling down on you. The fleet is moving nearer still. The Strait of Hormuz, it comes in view. The oil must flow through. And I ran so far away. The bomb I ran, I bombed them night and day. But destroy USA. A tiny hand hits a big red button. Atomic bombs come falling down on you. Mushroom clouds in view. Send out a tweet to let you know. World War III, 'cause Israel told me to. All for Netanyahu. And I ran so far away. Oh, bomb them night and day. Oh, and I ran so far away. Oh, bomb them night and day. But destroy USA.
All right, that was supposed to be Bomb Iran today, and right now it's supposed to be starting at about 5 o'clock, and we didn't get that. Instead, we got some lame-ass peace agreement or ceasefire or something. We're going to talk about all that stuff, but man, that's okay because I love that video. It just absolutely cracks me up. All right, guys, welcome to Real News Live. It is a Toxically Masculine Tuesday. I'm your host, Mike Bara, in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sunny, warm, perfect, 80-degree Las Vegas, Nevada. The pools are open. The girls are in their bikinis. Life is getting better in Vegas. No more, no more big bear skins and stuff for the girls here in Vegas. It's going to be rock and roll for the rest of the summer. Welcome to Real News Live and Toxically Masculine Tuesday. As always, I'm joined by the other 4 members of this incredibly testosterone-laden hour of discussion to the man on my immediate right, the guy with, ladies, over 900 testosterone level. Over 900 last time he was measured. Steve Doran, Trail Boss. Now, Steve, isn't it true that the reason your testosterone is so high is because every morning you get up, walk out into the backyard completely in your birthday suit and sun the boys for 20 minutes or so? Is that right?
I sun my whole body 365 days a year. If it's 20 below out or 150 degrees, I'm out there in the sun. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps the testosterone high.
All right, there you go. That and a little ice pack on the boys in the morning. Speaking of ice packs on the boys, the man immediately below Steve in this Hollywood Square setup is TV's Blake Wally, the owner of the Lickety Split, the finest strip club in Nashville, Tennessee, owned by TV's Blake Wally. Blake, it looks like the girls aren't there yet. Going to be opening up in a few hours, I imagine. And isn't it good that we don't have World War III and you can open up and the girls can make a little money tonight?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know what to expect. And then it was about an hour before the show or something. All of a sudden, the peace agreement came in because, we did this, try to go early, special coverage on this.
Right.
This is a historic day for many reasons. And it looks like we just averted a potential World War III. At least it's postponed for a couple of weeks. The girls are happy with that. We're just hanging out at the karaoke lounge. It's too early, but should be rocking tonight. We'll see. I'll be drinking a little whiskey tonight.
And, of course, the final member of this quartet, the genius, the man who you cannot spend 6 hours in a car with and not come away smarter, the amazing Dr. Brooks Agnew. Brooks, how you doing tonight? What are you drinking? And how are things back in the Carolinas? Looks like it's not quite dark there yet. That's awesome.
Oh, it's dark. Well, it's almost dark. You could kind of see a little bit of blue sky there in the back. Yeah, it's really good. Weather was fantastic today. I'm drinking Perrier today, and it's nice to see that the allies of Iran, the UN and CNN, have both agreed to not get wiped out today. So hopefully they understood that Trump wasn't bluffing.
Well, that's a good question. We're going to ask that question. It's going to be interesting to see whether we think Trump is bluffing. Before we get started tonight, I wanted to acknowledge the passing of Nick Pope, my friend. I guess I could call him my friend. We certainly were always friendly whenever we were together. Nick Pope passed away yesterday, former investigator. Well, nobody really knows what he did at the Ministry of Defense, but he was on the UFO team at the Ministry of Defense way back 30 some years ago. And he's been in the independent research community for quite some time. He passed away, I believe, from esophageal cancer. He announced it a couple of months ago, 2 to 3 months ago. I remember the day the announcement came out. Brooks, I called him and I tried to talk him into trying to run ivermectin and Fenben, or ivermectin and Menben, or there's 6 different combinations. Dr. William Mackus, who's now moving to Florida, I guess, could have helped him. And he wouldn't listen. He didn't want to listen. He didn't want to try anybody's miracle cure. I mean, I can understand, when people start telling me, oh, put onion juice in your ear and it'll cure, I get it. But this is a pharmaceutical product, and it's got these uses. It's been very successful. And I know you tried to talk to Nick also.
Very quietly about a year ago. And he would, I don't know. Some people just don't want it.
I feel like this didn't have to happen. And I feel bad about that because his wife certainly loved him. And I know most people that dealt with him.
Y'all did. Yes, anybody didn't like Nick.
I've never had more fun drinking with anybody in the UFO community. I'll say that. And maybe by the time the show's over, I can play a little tiny clip I got him to do, a little video hit I got him to do back in Roswell in 2023. So rest in peace, Nick Pope. I'm going to raise a little bit of my whiskey here at Seattle Seahawks. To you, Nick, rest in peace. And I'm sorry we're going to have to finish the journey without you, but I'm glad you were here. Cheers. All right. So we had a whole lot of stuff happen today. It was supposed to be Bomb Iran Day. We were all getting ready for that. We were excited. At least I was. I'm ready to bomb these guys back to the Stone Age. I don't know how Blake feels about that. Blake's rolling his eyes. But I was like, I'm ready to be done with this fucking Islamic regime. But apparently Trump has other plans. Now, Christian Hellwig, even though you're a Liverpool fan, Hellwig, I do like you. Never heard he was sick. Met him a couple years ago. Nice guy. Yeah. He made an announcement on Twitter a while back. So we kind of all knew it wasn't really going to come down to this, but we did expect, at least I expected something, but a little bit earlier today, Donald Trump released a statement from whoever it is we are dealing with in Iran, and it's really hard to know who the hell we're dealing with. Let's read this statement and get it up on the screen there. On behalf of the Islamic Republic of Iran, I express gratitude and appreciation for my dear brothers, HE Prime Minister of Pakistan Sharif and HE Field Marshal Munir, I don't know what the HE stands for their tireless efforts to end the war in the region. In response to the brotherly request of the PM Sharif in his tweet, and considering the request by the U.S. for negotiations based on its 15-point proposal, as well as announcement by President of the United States about acceptance of the general framework of Iran's 10-point proposal as a basis for negotiations, I hereby declare on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Security Council that if attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces, they're so powerful, will cease their defensive operations. For a period of 2 weeks, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces and with due consideration of technical limitations. Signed, Syed Abbas Araghchi, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Islamic Republic of Iran. Here's the thing. There's so few of these fuckers left that they're down to like the assistant deputy foreign minister to make an announcement on behalf of their government. So there's a lot to unpack here, and there's many other aspects to this that we're to get to. So what I want to do first is Brooks, you're the most experienced foreign policy guy on the panel. This statement clearly says we accept the 15-point plan as a basis. We have our own counter 10-point plan, and we're ready to sit and talk because the threat of basically obliteration, as Klaatu in the Day of the Ursatil, it's either take it or face obliteration.
I find the whole statement hilarious because, first of all, they get the deputy chief director of paper towels up there to say, okay, we're going to stop and he calls them defensive activities. So us lobbing rockets into all of our neighbors' countries, the UAE and Saudi Arabia, that's defensive. I get it. It's laughable. These guys are done. They're absolutely done.
Yeah, Brooks, let's not get too far into the other things that are happening because we still have to catch up on all that stuff. But I guess when you read this, again, the fact that they don't even have a prime minister or supreme leader or anybody to put the statement out indicates to me they're in big trouble. And none of this moved. None of this. Hey, Susan Gretz. Everybody send some love to Susan Gretz. She's struggling at home now. And also, she's got a GoFundMe. I'll try to get the link in, Susan, by the end of the show, or you can post it here if you want, if you can. She's having a lot of medical issues, but we love you, Susan. So get well soon. And by the way, yes, I talked to her today. So I don't know what I was going to do with this. I was going to pour another shot, but is this surrender on Iran's part, Brooks, or what do you think?
It's the best they can do. And, that's what I'm saying. This guy has no real authority to speak for the faction that is controlling the press and launching all the missiles. None of that is defensive. It's all offensive. That's why I was making,
Yeah, but don't you think that it's just likely it's likely that these are factions within the Islamic Republic who, not that they didn't get the memo, but they don't want to make peace with the great Satan, and so they're firing off everything that they have in one last giant jizz blob, trying to stir up World War III because they didn't get what they wanted, which was World War III, right?
We'll see how many rockets land in Haifa tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, and that'll be very important because if they blow their wad tonight and there's none left for tomorrow, that's going to tell us an awful lot about these factions and stuff. Steve, is it a coincidence that this agreement and this agreement and this statement did not come out until after it was made quite obvious that the U.S. was putting all of their heavy bombers into the air. B-1s, B-2s, B-52s were all seen taking off from their bases in Europe to head to Iran. Was that a coincidence that they just happened an hour or two after those videos came out, agree to a ceasefire?
It's not a coincidence, but he was saber rattling from the beginning. He was talking to Iran like Iran talks about us. That they always say total annihilation, death to the great Satan. They want the United States completely annihilated. So he was talking to them like they talk to us. And as far as whether he was going to go through with it or not, I'm going to say probably not. He was just, again, saber rattling, using it as a huge threat. And the issue that I have, the huge issue that I have and have had, is you don't make a deal with the devil. So he either needs to, he needs to go in, totally dismantle the regime that's there, not negotiate, not have anything to do with them, completely dismantle them, get rid of them, and allow the Iranians, or as you like to say, the Persians, to take their country back over. This is just turning into the biggest bunch of nonsense I've ever seen.
Yeah. Blake, we're going to speculate this. I'm going to give you guys a scenario in a minute of what I think might be going on, which has nothing to do with what appears to be going on. But Blake, you didn't want this war. You weren't in favor of it. But once you get into it, I think you have to finish it, or you just have the same problem again 2 years from now, and you have to decide whether you're going to get involved. What do you think of this agreement? How does it make you feel? Are you pleased that we're not bombing Iran back to the Stone Age?
Yes, I'm very pleased about that. I would have been happy with a limited military operation with their plan A. Not that I was in favor of that. I don't like the idea that we're working with, Bibi and letting him decide what we do, or getting us involved, dragging us into it. But if they could have got that decapitation strike and the Iranian people were really ready to rise up and take over their government, that would have been a great scenario. But that's not what happened. And now it seems like the people have turned against us. And instead of liberating them, we want to place into the Stone Age. I don't like that policy. I'm happy to see them back off before things get any worse. Had there been, these planes taking off from the UK, I don't know, is it because of the aircraft carriers are not functional against the drones and the U.S. bases are not in that region, or they're timing that way? But Iran was more formidable than we thought. And I don't like the idea of going into a ground invasion or blowing up their infrastructure, in which they're going to retaliate and make things worse. And then the Strait of Hormuz is going to be closed for indefinitely. Oil's going to shoot to 200 a barrel. We're not going to be able to afford groceries. I don't think it would be worth it. Just in case maybe someday they come up with a nuclear weapon and that's a threat to Israel. That's not our problem.
Right. Well, I understand that perspective. For me, it's short-term pain for long-term gain. It cost me $48 to fill up my gas tank here in Vegas. It was $4.55, a gallon. That's a little pricey, but it's not even as bad as it was under Biden, when we had no international wars or reasons.
But it's all price gouging, because we don't get any oil from them.
Yes,
right.
I know.
This is oil companies gouging the American people, and the government standing by and allowing it to happen.
Yep,
We don't get any oil from that at all. Not one friggin' drop.
Basically none. And we don't need any. We don't need to get any from them whatsoever. So the thing is, this to me is, I can't say it's any kind of victory, because I wanted to finish this. Now, I was told by someone who's a little connected, not super connected, but a little connected, that this was all really a feint, and that what Trump was really going to do at 5 o'clock, 27 minutes ago, was to drop paratroopers onto Karg Island and take Karg Island, which, as we know, he's been obsessed with since the 1980s. He wants to get that oil processing plant, and that was all he was really after, and that was all he was really going to do. He wasn't going to be blowing up bridges and power plants where, the Iranians, or I hate to say the Iranians, but let's differentiate. The Persians are the Christians, or Zoroastrian, Caucasian, Persian people, whose country that is. It was invaded systematically by the Islamists, by the Arabs, for 20 or 30 years by CIA. That's our fault, to take over the country and create this Islamic terror state. That's not their country. We'll call them Iran. We'll call the rest of it Persia. But I was basically, told that they had cut a deal and they were going to just give us that. Now, I suppose that will come out in this 2 weeks of negotiations. But do you have any hope, Blake? Do you have any hope that at the end of this 2-week period that we're going to be done with this and we're going to be out of it? I mean, Trump did say this is going to be a 4 to 6 week operation. We're in week 5 right now. So was there pressure on Trump to get this done today, by now, to look good?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on him for the markets. The economy worldwide is going to tank for a lot of people. It's going to hurt a lot of not so much us here in the States as much as like people getting cut off from the high energy prices in Europe and what have you. And a lot of our allies would be suffering those consequences. So yeah, I guess I'm glad I don't know if it's going to hold up. My biggest concern, honestly, as much as I can criticize the radical jihadis and radical Islam, is the radical Zionists. And I don't know what Israel's going to do. I think they're going to try to undermine us because they want this way more than we do. And they're going to find some way to keep this going. So I don't trust Bibi. I'd like to see regime change, not only in Iran, but also in Israel.
Funny you should bring that up because we're getting to Israel next, what's going on there and their reaction to this. And it is very interesting because what happened in the last week was about 10 days ago, Trump did say, I got a gift from somebody in Iran. We talked about this, I think, last week, which I told you was a golden gun box, which is a very significant gift from one sovereign to another, which told Trump that the guy he was talking to inside Iran was a sovereign, meaning he has sovereign authority. He's recognized by kings and queens and other people like that. He's on the same level as Trump is considered to be on. And that inside of it was the 8 or 10 oil tankers full of oil and the deed to Karg Island, the title to Karg Island, which Trump has wanted for a long time. And then Israel killed that guy literally the next day after Trump told everybody that he got this gift and what was in the gift. Israel killed him because they didn't want him making peace with that particular sovereign who is now mincemeat. So now he's made a new deal. And how has Israel reacted? Let's watch a report from Laura Ingraham on Fox News just now. By the way, Laura, I've been on your show before. You have me on again. Let's do it again. Here's the Laura Ingraham report with this Fox News reporter who's been there for 1,000 years. I forget his name.
Well, the Israelis, for what they know so far with the details in this 2-week delay in the war, they're not too happy with the details, but they say it's President Trump's decision to make. The Iranian response was to fire another missile at Israel. It wasn't 5 minutes from the time that Truth Social post went up that our phones lit up with another incoming missile. This missile was intercepted over Jerusalem. The shrapnel came down. We've got no word of any injuries. It should be noted that word had gone out through the IDF that we should anticipate a lot of missile fire tonight, and they have not taken that down yet. So that's a situation right now. Sometimes we see here in the Middle East that they will fire one just to be defiant at the end, but it's also possible that word hadn't gotten out to the rocket group. Laura?
Mike, so your view?
Well, the Israelis, for what they know so far with the details in this
All right,
2-week
so
delay.
I want to play one other thing. There's another report that high-ranking members of the Israeli government, I thought I had some video of it, actually about 2 hours ago, fled the country, that there were more airplanes flying out of Tel Aviv than had been ever seen before. Let me see. Planes, Tel Aviv. Get that out of there. 15 Israeli commercial planes supposedly left Tel Aviv. Okay, so here's the video. Let me switch over to this and go big. And this is what they're saying is this is air traffic out of Tel Aviv just 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Taking off at high rates of speed, almost straight up. And what is being claimed by the people putting out these videos, and of course this is time lapse. It's probably, a minute or so separated. You're technically supposed to separate by 2 or 3 minutes, flying commercial jetliners because of the wake turbulence. But let's assume that this is true, Brooks. Sorry, I don't have Brooks there. Let's assume that this is true. Is that an indication that Blake's friends, the Zionists, maybe they're fleeing the country? Maybe it's the Israeli government that's going to get taken down tonight, not the Iranian government. What do you think about that idea?
Well, it's clear somebody with the money is getting the hell out of Dodge. This is coming maybe to a different kind of conclusion that everybody's thinking. Maybe Israel is going to fall. You never know. Maybe from the inside.
Okay. Blake, what are your thoughts? If those, and apparently it's relatively confirmed that those are Israeli government planes leaving Tel Aviv to go who knows where, maybe Russia. What do you think about that? Do you think that implies that there's something bigger going on here than we're actually seeing?
Yeah, I did see that video this morning. It is quite possible they knew something was coming, especially if this deadline, depending on what happened, and that there was going to be Iranian retaliation. So they got out of there. Perhaps, yeah, there's some of them are trying to get out of there. I think some are trying to go to Greece, or I believe Argentina. I think Malay, the leader there, has built some areas. He's going to invite a lot of the people from Israel into the country. And if that becomes necessary, I don't know if they're ready to evacuate or who's going to come. Certainly, we just welcome some kind of a peace arrangement, whatever that may, however that comes. Like I said, I think if they could do a regime change and we could actually have, peace in the Middle East, that would be the best case scenario for all. But if the bombs were coming in, they certainly had a plan to evacuate if necessary. And it looks like they were caught on that video.
Yeah. I mean, Steve, what do you think this is? Because the timing is interesting. It appears that these planes left after word leaked out of the agreement, of the peace agreement, the ceasefire, which are they just fleeing because they figured Tel Aviv is going to get hit massively hard, or are they fleeing because the jig is up and their government is not going to get what they want out of this? What do you think? You got instincts. What are your instincts telling you? Your cop instincts.
First of all, my instincts is that nobody is fleeing. Having aircraft take off like that, anybody who has flown in or out of a combat zone, as I have on numerous occasions, the planes always come in and leave like that. They check the surrounding area, the radar, and they get the planes in. They come in a spiral. They go out almost straight up and go out. I don't believe anybody's getting out. I don't believe that Israel's falling. I don't believe that there's going to be a regime change. It's more bullshit speculation that people like to put out on the internet.
Well, then where is Benji Netanyahu? We have barely seen him in the last few weeks. And in fact,
again, you're not going to have him in a situation that basically is going on currently. He's not going to be running around, going to the grocery store and the synagogue and all that stuff. They're going to keep his location secret, just as we would the president of the United States and every other country would. And they're going to move him randomly so nobody really knows where he is.
Does Benji really go to the synagogue of Satan, Blake? What do you think? I think he goes. I've never seen the guy at synagogue. Have you? I actually can't remember any footage of that.
No, I think he's a fake Jew. I think he has adopt Judaism so they can masquerade as God's chosen people. Some of them, yeah.
He's born in Pennsylvania, right?
But he's from Polish descent. Yeah, there's no connection of him, any bloodline connection that he's actually Semitic that I'm aware of. Yeah, so yeah, from Philadelphia. No, I've always been very suspicious of him, and he's also on trial for corruption there. So the people there do not like him. There have been major, enormous protests outside of his house. He's just very powerful, and it's hard to take him down. But a lot of the people here do not like him. So they're trying to push for him to get out of there. But now he's got so much power. And then to your other point, I don't know exactly what's going on with the first 5 or 6 videos that came out showed him like it was definitely AI. I don't know if he's been to the security briefing since. It looked like a few of them might have been legitimate, so I don't know if he's dead or alive anymore. That was a hot topic issue there for a while.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you that the one in the coffee shop was clearly AI. So
And
there
the
is
six-finger
another
one.
Yeah, well, that actually I think was a reflection off the inside of his hand. It looked like a finger, but I think that one was kind of debunked. But here's one other thing that people haven't talked about, which is that there's very little of it out there because Iran apparently released a hostage, a reporter they had been keeping there for some time, right when this was announced. So could this all have been? Is there maybe something super valuable about this one?
They traded. They didn't release her. They traded for other prisoners. They did not just release her. They traded for her.
Okay, so is that? Do you feel like that is what was really the dynamic going on here, a prisoner exchange, and we'll give you 2 weeks of respite before we blow you all up again? Or, I mean, what do you think, Steve?
Well, I mean, like I told you, this thing is going to go on. It's not ending. It's going to be going on for some time. It's going to be back and forth. And as long as the United States tries to make a deal with the current regime, it's never going to happen. And if they do, all they're doing is stalling for time because 1 year from now, 2 years from now, it's going to start up all over again. You cannot, like I said, make a deal with the devil. You cannot go to these people and make a gentleman's agreement that is, they lie all the time. I mean, I've been in the Middle East. I've fought in the Middle East, and I'm telling you, they are the scourge of the freaking earth. And I really don't care that if Israel bombs them, carpet bombs them, and removes them from the face of the earth. I get so sick of people, unless you've been there, unless you see how they operate, unless you see the evil that goes on in those countries, you have no say in it. You have no say in it because you don't have a freaking clue what it's like. You see young boys being raped continuously. You see women being abused. You see people being stoned. You see people having their hands removed for literally doing next to nothing. They're the most evil, awful, horrible people on the planet. And there is no doing business with them. There is no making deals with them. The only thing they understand is the threat of being annihilated. That's the only way you can do business with those people.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And let's not even talk about what they do to dogs, which basically is enough for me to nuke the whole place. The problem is that Persia, like I said, is a good place. And it's got good people that don't think like this and don't act like that. But now the Arabs are like ants. They've gotten themselves integrated into this wonderful, beautiful.
Well, then why are we making a deal with them? Why are we making a deal with the current regime? Why are we giving them any kind of a break?
Did Steve cut out? Did I cut out?
No, I can hear him.
I can hear him.
Yeah.
Everybody can hear me but you, Mike. Hello.
Uh-oh. I think Mike's out. Yeah.
Am I unfrozen now?
No, you're
Well,
okay.
you're not frozen, but I don't think you can hear us.
You can't hear
Yeah,
us? Anybody?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
It's at my end. It's my shitty computer, my shitty internet. So,
yeah, no worries.
I mean, well, I don't think we should be making a deal with them because I don't think you can trust them. And I think in 2 weeks, we're just going to be right back to the same situation again and still facing this crisis. And you cannot leave this Islamic regime in charge of Persia. You can't. They have to be pushed out of there. If we're going to do that, Brooks, how are we going to do it over the next 2 weeks? How are we going to do it?
There are a lot of things going on right now. I know that Iran is being invaded by several countries. I've seen interviews of people on the street, big, huge throngs of people. Every single person in that crowd was from Afghanistan. They're all invading Iran because they sense the weakness and they're going to try and, do whatever they've done in Afghanistan. The proof of whether this is effective, this peace deal is effective or not, will be if tomorrow 100 rockets don't land in some country. If Iran stops shooting rockets, I'll believe it. But I don't think they're going to stop. I'm with Steve. I just don't think they're going to quit.
Okay. And I concur with you about that. But I mean, what I'm trying to do is figure out how do we get out of this? Because look, there's other things going on in the world. There's the Strait of Hormuz. Trump put Europe over a barrel. He's just looking for a reason. You know how when your girlfriend wants to break up with you, she just looks for a reason to pick a fight with you, right? Trump's looked for a reason to pick a fight with Europe and pick a fight with NATO and get the hell out of NATO and bring our guys home, which we're all ready to do. But how do you extricate yourself, Blake? How do you extricate ourselves without surrender, and leaving this pustule on the ass of the world in Iran? How do we get out of the next 2 weeks? Or are we going to be right back here in 2 weeks, jumping through hoops again?
I just think everybody's got to agree that this is going to be terrible for the economy worldwide, and it's just going to be a loss for everybody. There are no winners in this. So it's just time to back out now before it gets worse. Plan A failed. And now it's time to save face and maybe even just throw Israel under the bus. But I think the 10-point deal they've put out is at least, reasonable. It can be worked with. Steve says they're not going to take a deal. Maybe they won't. I felt like to begin with, we had to have some support from China and Russia. Like that's just not that's on the other side of the globe. I didn't like the idea of having to get involved in another Middle East conflict, especially one that's as formidable as Iran. This is not Afghanistan or Iraq or Syria. So anyway, I hope that this is going to work out in a couple of weeks and that things will cool down, because I don't think a lot of people really want this around the world.
Oh, I think a lot of people want this.
West and Israel.
I know I've wanted to get a lot of MAGA and I've wanted to get rid of Iran for a long time, and I think we should have done it 5 administrations ago. But Steve, what do you think? Steve, if you were called by Trump today to come back, and assuming you could, serve in the armed forces to go in and clear the Islamists out of Iran, would you do it? And would you think it was a patriotic function?
Absolutely, I would do it. And not that it's a patriotic function for the United States so much, but again, these evil regimes need to be removed, 100% removed, not dealt with in a civil manner in any way, shape, or form. They need to be taken and removed from the planet. So the only thing, if I was Trump, I would say, look, I will take complete and total surrender. We will remove you from your positions of authority, replace you with the Persians, and that's the only deal I'm going to make with you. Otherwise, we are going to come in and completely 100% remove you from the planet Earth.
Why didn't they just do that tonight? Why didn't we just do it tonight? Why make a deal with people you can't trust? I mean, I believe there is some sort of
it's all politics, dude. It's all freaking politics. Right.
Yep.
And again, we're, Blake calls them our allies. We don't have any allies. Europe hates our guts. They would love to see us fall and go into the depths of hell, just like the Middle East. So we don't have any allies. But the reality is that what they're doing is all these other countries are saying, oh, our oil prices are too high. We're not getting oil. All of our oil comes from Iran, blah, blah, blah. So they're doing this ceasefire to appease the Europeans, which I don't give a crap about either. They're turning into Islamic countries very rapidly, so screw them too. And it's like, it's all politics. It has nothing to do with us. We get no oil from Iran. All of these high prices, like I said, that are affecting the economy are simply price gouging from the oil companies. All the government has to do is step in and say, look, you're not going to price gouge the American people. We're going to start prosecuting you the next time that you guys increase oil prices when you know that we're not even getting oil from Iran. But they don't do it because it's all politics. Those are the people that are paying the politicians. They're, funding their campaigns and that kind of thing. So they walk in lockstep with these corporations. That's the way it's always has been, and it's not going to change.
What you're describing is fascism, actually. Okay, Brooks, again, let's go with this question. How do we get out of this in 2 weeks? And why didn't we just finish the job tonight? I mean, I get it. Maybe Steve is right. Maybe Europe and China called and cried because their oil through the Strait of Hormuz was being slowed down or stopped. Maybe they did that, but why would Trump capitulate to that instead of just finishing the job when everything was ripe? I mean, the planes were in the air, ready to strike. Why didn't we just finish the job tonight? And how do we get out of this the next 2 weeks?
Probably because of Trump's poll numbers. They didn't want his poll numbers to go down and lose the midterm. Steve's exactly right. It's all politics. I don't think you're ever going to convert them. You're never going to stop them from hating Jews and hating Americans, and you're not going to stop them on their mission. It's in their blood since the time they were born, since before they were born, and you're not going to get it out of them. Steve's right. The only way to solve the issue is to remove them from Earth, and I don't see any other way of doing it except what you just suggested. Go in there. We know where they are. We know where they're concentrated. We have the weaponry. It might not fit the Geneva Convention, but end them. Take the political hit, end them, and save the world.
Yeah, I mean
if the Persians are going to be saved, the only way they're going to be saved is if that regime is removed. Mm-hmm. There is no way you can leave that regime in power, and the Persians and that regime will not allow the Persians to flourish ever.
He's right. They don't have to win.
Torture them just like they're doing now. They will not cease to torment those people.
Stephen, here's the thing.
They don't have to win. They only have to not lose.
No, they have to survive. Here's the thing, Steve. Where are they getting their resources from? The Russians are not helping them. Putin has basically said, you're on your own, boys. China doesn't have the capability to supply them. So isn't it all coming through? Wait for it.
The other Islamic countries.
Isn't it Pakistan who's behind all this shit, who's giving, because where else are they getting the bullets from? Where else are they getting the guns from? Where else are they getting the missiles and the drones from? It has to be
as they always have from other Islamic countries supplying them. And that's the way it's always been.
So
I'm sure all of Egypt, all of them are somehow, some way supplying them with munitions. It's the way it's always been. It's just like, we're supposedly friends with Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia, had terrorist training camps. They were funding terrorists to attack the United States. Oh, but they're our friends. I mean, none of those people are our friends. None of those people, they want to see Western civilization as we know it gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Laura, the $2 million per ship, you stop watching the news because they're lying to you about. There are no terms yet. What the Iranians said in their statement, which you missed because you got here a little late. It's going to be a quiz later, Laura. Is they basically said we accept the 15-point plan of the United States. Oh, and by the way, here's 10 points we'd really like to talk about. That's all they did. So there is, if you hear about they're going to get this, that, or the other thing from the U.S., they've gotten no concession States at this point. But I mean, again, the only thing I can think of, shit. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if you can still hear me, but once again, my shitty internet kicks in. The only thing that, Brooks, I just can't think of how we get out of this unless there's something else that has to happen this week that Trump is covering for. And he hasn't declared victory. He hasn't said it's over. He said we're going to keep talking. It's not like, people are, Trump's just going to declare victory no matter what the situation is and end the whole thing. Well, he's not ending it. So that's bullshit. The leftist bullshit mantra is not correct. So I just, at this point, I can't see what the next phase is. Do you guys see anything?
No, I mean, that's exactly what the media is saying too, that Trump doesn't have a way out. He never had a plan. He just started it and had no end game. But that's not true. That is not true. They have goals that they're trying to accomplish, and they've accomplished most of them. But I'm saying it is not over until Iran stops launching rockets. If a week goes by and we don't see any rockets come out of Iran, I'll say Trump won. But the next thing that has to happen, I think we need to seize control of the Strait of Hormuz. Seize it, the whole thing. and open it up to international
and they
travel.
they act like that's so hard, and it's not. They have no navy. There are things called minesweepers, which can sweep mines on a regular basis, and you can obliterate every living thing along the coastline back 26 miles, and they won't be able to do shit. So
we could get AOC to lead that fleet.
That we could.
It's all politics. The reason that they don't take it is because then everybody will say, oh, the only reason that Trump went in there was to get control of the oil and get control of the straits and blah, blah, blah. So it's another political move that they're not willing to take at this point. They could have had it at the beginning. They could have had it within a day and a half. No problem. It's not that big a deal.
Let's get to the most critical issue here, the really important thing that I want to get an answer to from all four of you. And I'm going to start with you, Blake. Do you think AOC's tits are real or are they fake?
I think they're real. Absolutely.
Steve, AOC's breasts, real or implants?
I think they're real. And I think, isn't she pregnant or something?
She's fat. She's gotten fat.
Oh, I thought she was, I heard she was pregnant.
You heard she was on ketamine therapy,
With
right?
twins.
She used the taxpayers' money to pay $19,000 for a therapist to fill her up with ketamine. Ladies, do not embrace feminism.
I have no idea what that is.
If you embrace feminism, you will end up a drug addict, lonely, alone, with no family, no children, and no one to love you in your old age. That's what will happen. So stay away from AOC. All right, Brooks.
Yeah, I think her boobs are real, and I think that ass is real too. I think the Latina genes are kicking in, and she's going to turn into every other. I mean, she has a pretty face, but what she has going for her.
Oh my God, I wish I could find it. I've got a meme. I'm going to try to find it. It's AOC. It says AOC in 10 years. I got to go try to find out the next second.
Yeah, the boobs are real, and the ass is real, and she hates it.
My opinion is I don't know about the boobs, but the booty is definitely AOC. It's all AOC.
Any woman with an ass like that is not going to get fake tits. It's fake tits. Ain't going to happen.
Have to. What's my opinion on Sweeney's tatas? Oh, those are real. Sydney Sweeney's boobs are definitely.
Oh, they are.
And they are magnificent. And I've seen them many times. You can tell we all know as guys, right? We all know as whiskey drinking gentlemen, we all know that there are ways you can tell. And here's the thing, ladies, that you may not understand. Thank you for the super chat or the Rumble rant there. Thank you. We finally got somebody to give us a little bit. But here's the thing. The answer to the question is, do you prefer fake or do you prefer real? The answer that every man will give you is, who cares? We don't care. We don't care if they're fake. We don't care if they're real. As long as they're there. That's all we care about. All right.
Regardless of what any woman will tell you, when it comes to boobs, size does not matter. Only quality.
Well, I'll let that one slide for the moment. All right. Chiming in on this and the state of the elites in America, the government, was none other than our pal, Vlad. About 5 hours ago, Vladimir Putin had this to say about the elites of the West. And let's listen to Vlad lay it on us. And I gotta say, Vlad, I don't disagree with you. Here's what he says.
Хочу, чтобы меня услышали простые граждане западных государств. Вас сейчас настойчиво пытаются убедить в том, что все ваши трудности – это результат каких-то враждебных действий России, что из вашего собственного кошелька надо оплатить борьбу с мифической русской угрозой. Все это ложь. А правда в том, что текущие проблемы, с которыми сталкиваются миллионы людей на Западе, стали результатом многолетних действий правящих элит и государств. Их ошибок, близорукости и амбиций. Эти элиты думают не о том, как улучшить жизнь своих граждан в западных странах. Они одержимы своими корыстными интересами и сверхприбылями. Хочу, чтобы меня услышали простые граждане западных государств. Вас сейчас настойчиво пытаются убедить в том, что все ваши трудности – это результат каких-то враждебных действий России, что из вашего собственного кошелька надо оплатить борьбу с мифической русской угрозой. Все это ложь. А правда в том, что текущие проблемы, с которыми сталкиваются миллионы людей на Западе, стали результатом многолетних действий правящих элит их государств, их ошибок, близорукости и амбиций. Эти элиты думают не о том, как улучшить жизнь своих граждан в западных странах. Они одержимы своими корыстными интересами и сверхприбылями.
Okay, so that was Vlad's opinion. I'm not sure we asked Vlad for his opinion, but Steve Doran, what do you think of what Putin said? I tend to think he's 100% right.
I agree with him 100%. The fact that the elites run this country, not the American people, not the U.S. government, whatever the major corporations say go, and it's all about the profits that they can make. I mean, look at how COVID-19, how everybody, they put everybody into a panic, separated everybody, kept people wearing masks, and got all kinds of people to take the shot. And it was all about the almighty dollar. Had nothing to do with saving people's lives from COVID.
Yeah,
the American people always fall for it. That's the thing that just pisses me off. I mean, I really have no sympathy for the American people anymore. I don't, because they're so stupid. They fall into this. They fall into these traps all the time. People tell them stuff. They're so gullible. Whatever's on the internet, whatever they see on their phone, they believe it. And so, the reason that we're in the trouble that we're in is because of stupid American people.
Okay. Brooks.
Well, I mean, the whole world was forced into it. Okay. In 2019, the world was absolutely kicking ass. Everything was rocking. The Trump economy was saving the world. I was making money. All my friends were making money. Reuters goes back and says that the average income was going up like leaps and bounds in 2019. There was no way that the Democrats could even make an etch or a scratch in 2020. The only thing they could do is smash the Trump economy. And what did they do? They targeted small business. You're a small business, you have to close. You have to close. You can't do business. Right. Only the global multi-billion-dollar corporations can do business. The rest of you starve. And
why was it?
We put up with it. We did it.
I agree. I agree with Brooks wholeheartedly. Why was it okay to go shop at Kroger, let's say, and I don't want to get sued by Kroger, so I'm just using you as an example, Kroger. But why was it okay to go shop at Kroger, but the same size supermarket that was privately owned by an individual had to close?
That's right.
What sense did that make? Or you could go to Walmart, but the privately owned Ace Hardware had to shut down. I mean,
and if you didn't like it, they'd take your business license. They would cut off your insurance. These elites.
And the same thing with restaurants. You go to McDonald's, but the local mom and pop place, you can't go there.
Right. The local hamburger place, churches were closed down. People were not allowed to gather. Middle class was not allowed to gather. Hell, they weren't even allowed to show their own faces to their own kids.
All right. Yeah. Blake, what are your thoughts on what Vlad had to say in that statement? I don't disagree with him very much at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's definitely onto something. Yeah, we live in like a kleptocracy. We've got the ruling class that just steals from us and sends our money to, in their pockets. It's all fraud. It goes overseas, or it's, funding wars, military industrial complex. Yeah, we got the Epstein elites, these, supposed, they're eugenicists. They're masquerading as philanthropists. They're anything but. They're not trying to enrich our civilization at all. They're just trying to enrich themselves, play us off against each other. And they've been just stealing from us for years, decades.
Laura, duck lips are a no. There are otherwise beautiful women that I know, and I'm not going to mention any names. You, Julia.
And, people were being shot. People were being shot by paintballs and pepper balls for being out on their porch getting fresh air.
Yeah.
And they tolerated it. They put up with it.
I had a friend in Australia, Nicole, and she was out with a friend, and they were walking along the beach, and cops came up to them and told them they couldn't walk on the beach. She's like, we're literally two people by ourselves on an empty beach. And they arrested her friend. They arrested her. So what the fuck is that? That is what these governments around the world want to do to you if we do not fight back and defeat them. But the problem is the guy we're expecting to lead us doesn't really seem to be doing that. I mean, I got to be honest, where I stand at this right now is I do not know. I do not know whether or not Trump, the guy in charge, is really leading us towards something better or something worse. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know why this isn't over. The only thing I can think of is that this action today has something to do with something else that he is needing to focus resources on for the next week or two. And I can't imagine what that is. Maybe it's a takeover of Karg Island. I don't know. Any other thoughts on any of that, gentlemen?
Yeah, I think Trump needs to flush his advisors. I think he's being misled by all the neocons in his administration. He seems to be running things through Mark Levin. He's got Laura Loomer chasing out, all of the, moderate people in Washington and replacing them with radical Zionists, it seems like. So, yeah, he's got to get some new people. I don't trust Susan Wild. I don't like the idea that we're, trying to get into a war with basically Sheldon Adelson's, dead casino mogul and his dirty casino money. That's his lifelong wish to get us into a war with Iran. So he's paying Miriam. I don't trust Kushner and some of these other Witkoff. There's a lot of people. I think he needs to get a new group of advisors and set him straight, because I don't know how checked in he is. I don't know how much of this is his doing or the people around him, or if they're insulating him, keeping him in a bubble. He's in that Fox News bubble a little too much. Somebody needs to.
We're available. We're available, aren't we, Mike?
Yeah, we are. We are. I'm available to help with the UFO thing. It's interesting because I was talking with a friend right before this show, and she was saying she felt bad for Pam Bondi because Pam Bondi just did what she was told, and it was the people above her, i.e. Trump, who weren't giving her the instructions to go after these people. So we sit here, and I don't know, why do we keep treading water? Why are we still treading water? And I keep thinking there's got to be some other big move coming, but I just don't know where it is and when it's going to happen. Any thoughts at all on that from any of you guys?
I think Trump is going to fundamentally change the Department of Justice. Todd Blanche's, I don't really trust him because he's already been running the DOJ the entire time Bondi was in there, and the DOJ didn't do anything. There are 4 areas that the DOJ should be focused on. I don't think one AG can do it. I think he needs to split up that leadership and say, okay, we're going to have 4 generals, not just one.
All these investigations then take months and months, and by that time we have another election, and then Trump's impeached.
We already have all the evidence, okay? There's the coup, there's the cartels, there's the fraud, and then there's the normal crime in prisons, which that's what Pam Bondi was doing, was crime in prisons. And she did a fine job. But the other 3 things, she paid no attention to whatsoever.
Well, it almost seems like, Steve, don't you agree? She was basically told to back off Epstein and those kinds of things, wasn't she? Wasn't she reined in on that?
Well, I think the president's chief of staff has something to do with that, because she's part of the elite, and she told Pam just to tread water. But there again, I blame Pam Bondi as well, because, as in her position, she could have told everybody to F off. These people have committed crimes, and I'm going to move forward and prosecute them. And the big deal was when she appointed those prosecutors to go after those 2 politicians. I believe they were both in New York. Mm-hmm. And, the case fell through because they were like just out of intern status. I mean, who does that? So, who does that unless you're corrupt? And, again, Bondi has always been pay for play. You pay her, she'll do, what needs to be done to get you off the hook. Or if you pay her and you're on the opposing side, she'll go after you hammer and tongs. She is as corrupt as a lot of the people in the cabinet and the administration are.
I just don't think we need another Fox News contributor as AG. I don't care if we never see the AG's picture.
Well, I mean, I thought the perfect guy was Whitaker. And Trump never kept him, didn't keep him in, didn't appoint him. I mean, I don't know, because he seemed like he was ready to go after everybody, and now he's just some side player. He's not anybody.
But I mean, the reality is Trump is ultimately responsible. He doesn't get a pass on any of this. He is the president of the United States. He appointed these people. He's taking bad counsel, whatever the case may be. He is ultimately, the buck stops with him. So he needs to either start doing what he said he was going to do during his campaign or get the hell out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is making changes. You know, nobody got fired during the Biden administration. Nobody. At least Trump's firing people and trying to do something.
But again,
is it firing, or is it just a show? Is it a dog and pony show to get the public to say, all right, now he's going to appoint somebody who is going to go after these people on the Epstein list? I mean, again, buying him time.
Yep.
Too bright.
To get through the midterms, because, the reality is, she didn't leave and, she actually left and has a better job than she had as Attorney General.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to get to Trump and just tell him, look, this is your last hurrah. This is it. You're not going to be reelected after this.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah, but that ain't happening. All right, one last issue, which is that for the first time in 50-some years, we went back to the moon this week. Just yesterday, we passed within about 4,800 miles of the moon with the Artemis 2 spacecraft mission. It's actually the Orion spacecraft. The Orion, the piece of shit pile of junk Apollo asteroids, which they gave to Boeing in 2006, ruined my perfect life in LA, by the way. If they'd have given it to Northrop Grumman, we would have had this thing in space flying 10 or 15 years ago. But it took some amazing pictures of the lunar surface. Personally, I hope we get some good ones, and I'm going to look forward to going through a few of those because I have a few interesting things I've seen on the dark side of the moon. But one of the things, or the back side of the moon is what it technically is. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting was that as they were approaching, they were saying things like, we're seeing these brilliant flashes of light. These are called transient lunar phenomenon. They've been known for hundreds of years and observed. There's no explanation for them except for me and Richard Hoagland's explanation that you've got light reflecting off of towering glass-like crystalline structures, which lunar glass is about as strong as steel. It would make a fantastic meteor shield if you were going to build a base on the moon. They did that, and then get this, they actually went and said, we're seeing a lot of greens and browns and weird colors that we're not expecting. This is a saturated color. But those colors are really there. It really looks like vegetation down here. It looks like it. It certainly isn't. Look what they showed us in National Geographic in 1960 or 1972. So, on the anniversary or on the day after Nick's passing, I guess I'll ask you the question, do you guys think there's anything about this that leads to disclosure, Blake? Or do you think this is just a little time release, aspirin release, and it's not really going to go anywhere? What do you think about this?
I mean, I think it's a really cool mission. I was disappointed. It's like, I don't know why it's been 50 years since they decided to go back. It seems like they should be going often or trying to build something there as opportunity. But I mean, at least we're getting to see some cool pictures.
Yeah, well, allow me to speculate on that. If NASA's official position is that the moon is nothing but a bunch of rocks, what's the point in spending the hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars, that it takes to go there on a regular basis? To collect a bunch of rocks? We already know what they're made of because we brought a bunch of them back in 1969. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Now, Brooks might have a slightly different opinion because Brooks knows a little bit more about what's on the moon, don't you, Brooks?
Well, I think the helium-3 that they discovered in 2006 is the gold rush. It's enough energy to run Earth for 10,000 years. The fact that NASA a few weeks ago allocated $20 billion to building a lunar colony, which NASA will go through that with lunch money, that's not the exciting part. The exciting part is that Elon Musk has decided to take SpaceX public. Now, this is going to be, I predict, the first $1 trillion IPO. And there are companies, there are funds that you can buy into as an individual right now to participate in that IPO. But that's $1 trillion of raw equity That's what the kind of money that you need to build a lunar base. So it's not going to be a national effort. It's going to be an industrial effort. And you're going to see a return on investment like nobody has ever dreamed
Yeah,
of.
if there's as much helium-3 there as they think there is, once they figure out how to, I don't know, I guess they're going to use mass
How to
drivers.
use it.
It's
Oh, the other thing is AI. The moon is the perfect place to put AI because it's 40 degrees Kelvin in the shade, and you can keep stuff cool, which is exactly what you need for AI. I still predict that the first entity to control the moon will control the Earth.
He who controls the spice controls the universe. Steve,
Right.
do you give a shit that we went back to the moon yesterday?
What was that?
Do you give a shit that we went back to the moon yesterday?
Not really. I mean, honestly, in working at places like Los Alamos, a lot of it is, again, multi-billion-dollar corporations making tons of money to send this craft back to the moon. And let's face it, we didn't go back to the moon. I mean, nobody landed on the moon. They just flew around and took pictures. They could have sent a satellite to do that, for God's sakes. I mean, if you just want photographs, put a satellite up there. It's a hell of a lot cheaper and a hell of a lot quicker, and take your photographs. I mean, to me, it's like a non-event.
But they sent the DEI crew, a black astronaut and a woman astronaut. And I got to be honest, I don't think anybody on that thing can fly that sucker. I think it's all automated. I don't think they do anything except take pictures and pose for pictures. And I want to know one fucking thing. How does she pee in zero gravity? How does a girl pee in zero gravity? Well, that's actually not true. I have a friend, Ken Johnson Jr. Got to tell you this story.
I mean, if you want to impress me, go land on the moon again.
Well,
there you go.
Send
I
AOC.
mean, otherwise, send a satellite. It's cheaper. It's faster. Take photographs from the freaking satellite.
By the way, Laura, you get an A for that question. All right. As I had a friend, Ken Johnson Jr., worked in the photo lab for Apollo, taught the astronauts to fly the lunar module, Grumman test pilot, former F-4 Phantom pilot, former Marine. He worked at NASA in the 60s, and he ended up with a bunch of NASA handheld photography prints and negatives from all of the photography that the astronauts took on the surface of the moon. And it's very interesting when you look at his pictures versus the ones now in the archives, and they're very different pictures. Like, a lot of stuff has been airbrushed out, but Ken, against orders to destroy them, kept them. But after that, Ken went on to work on the space shuttle program. And Ken's assignment was to create the system or work as an engineer on the system for the female astronauts in the space shuttle to pee in zero gravity. And everything, as you know, in aerospace is acronyms, right? Everything has an acronym, you know. Yep. So Ken swears that he's walking through the halls of NASA, and they have a design review meeting coming up later that afternoon. And this boss comes up to him and he goes, "You don't have a name for this thing yet. We got to have a name. We got to have an acronym. What are you going to call it?" And he goes, "I'm going to call it the Female Urine Containment Kit." And the guy turns away and says, "You can't call it that." So that's what the ladies use to pee in zero gravity, in case you knew that. All right. Thank you, guys. The firmament. There's no firmament, buddy. There's none.
Oh, you domers.
By the way, on future shows, ladies, all of you who are doing super chat and all that other kind of stuff, that's going to put you into a drawing to go to Nashville to have a date with Blake Wally.
Yeah.
Now, you have to pay your own way to Nashville. However, once you get there, we will cover the cost of your date with Blake. As far as how the evening ends,
that's up to you.
That's
right.
up to you. That has
You can sign an NDA, right?
Consenting adults. Yeah, a lot of that's been going around today. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I don't know what else to say except I don't see the conventional geopolitical endgame out of this. I only see something completely asymmetric that they're not going to tell you about. They're not going to tell you about how the Vatican and the Crown of England and the Bank of London have been funding terrorism in the Middle East for the last 120 years. They ain't going to tell you that. But the only thing I can think of is that this 2-week delay is for Trump to do something against them, and maybe we'll see the chess moves in the next week or two. As it stands now, in terms of conventional geopolitics, I don't understand what to make of all this. So I can't leave you with anything positive, but I'll be back on with Jen tomorrow on Real News Live with Mike and Jen sometime tomorrow. I don't know when we're doing it. I'll have to check with Jen. But That's all I got. Anybody else have anything they would like to add before we get out of here tonight? Brooks?
No, I think we covered it all. I think we did a good job. This is the best roundtable on the internet, bar none. By the way, we get no prep. So when we come here, it's all cold. It's all real. Mike leads it, and it's nothing but our opinion and our experience and our knowledge. This is all raw. We don't script any of this.
Yeah. Blake, any other final thoughts before the girls start joining you there at the Lickety Split? Anything you have to say to anybody?
Well, I hope the worst is behind us and we get peace in the Middle East, at least for a few years, and let this blow off. That's all I got. I'll just hope for that. All
right. And Steve Doran, any final thoughts as we head out tonight?
Yes. As always, we love and appreciate the audience. It keeps us motivated to keep coming back week after week.
Keep writing. We like it.
Keep writing. Well, we appreciate all those messages that we get on Facebook.
Why would you proudly label your stream as Toxically Masculine Tuesday, even as a joke? And I will tell you why. It's because masculinity is not toxic. And if you knew that, you'd submit to us, ladies, because that's what we need. And that's what you need.